With a full stomach, the cheetah seems content to let Benny creep closer. He knows it's important to read the animal's body language, but the cheetah shows no aggression. Benny tries to signal to the cat that he is no threat, and the cheetah appears to acknowledge this gesture. Benny closes the distance, and so does the cheetah. This is as near as he dares to go, but it's perfect for Benny. Powerful images of cheetah and other big cats play an important role in Persian art and literature. Animals feature in the stories of old and are often used to symbolize human traits and characteristics. The Persian culture is still greatly influenced by its ancient scribes. This is the tomb of Hafiz, a revered 14th century poet and one of the masters of the Persian language. Even today, the people learn his poems by heart and use them as proverbs and sayings.
اگر از تجربیات و اندیشه‌های بزرگان بهره بگیری، زودتر به نتیجه دلخواه دستخواهی یافت.
The lyrical prose brings the generations together. Hafiz's vivid stories provide many with inspiration and answers to life itself. But there are less conventional ways to learn about life and reveal your fortune. Benny is persuaded to discover his fate. He is told that his journey will be successful. That's great news for Benny. His journey takes him southeast to Baramgur, named after a 5th century ruler with a passion for hunting. Today, this area is a protected reserve with a ranger station that is home to a pair of kestrels. The birds are wary. They are still hunted in Iran, and their nests raided for eggs that are sold to Arab sheiks. Falconry is a big sport there, and the birds are worth vast sums of money. Benny has found another unusual visitor here. It's an immature Eurasian black vulture. The scruffy scavenger turns out to be a willing model, and Benny decides to try out his 3D camera on the obliging bird. The two cameras side by side will create a 3D effect when the two pictures are merged.
"3D photography is much more complicated than the normal photography, especially if you take photographs of objects moving like animals. And some of the animals are afraid of the both lenses in front because the most predators got their eyes in front. So they think it's a predator, so it's better to to talk to the animals with very, very easy and relaxed voice. So they are relaxed also, and you can take the photographs. So it's much more complicated than the normal photography.
Oblivious to the photo shoot below, the kestrels continue to hunt between the telegraph poles, catching small prey like lizards. Protected by the rangers, this pair has nothing to fear. Benny has arranged to meet the rangers in the center of the reserve. Persian tradition requires the visitor to bring a small gift. Benny has brought along one of his 3D books, including the special glasses. The 3D pictures have the desired effect. The rangers are impressed. Benny has taken many of his photographs in Africa, where wildlife is far more abundant than in Iran. Sadly, lions disappeared from Iran over 70 years ago. Today, more than 20% of Iran's mammals are endangered. Benny is impressed at the rangers' knowledge, and they are in awe of his dedication and photographic skills. The meeting has gone well. They are happy to support his mission and help him photograph their own natural treasures. At the height of summer, the southern and eastern parts of Iran are arid and parched. It is a harsh climate with extreme heat and no more than 300 millimeters of rain a year. The few remaining pools of water are starting to dry up. Benny and the ranger prepare for a hot, dry journey. More adapted to these extreme conditions is the desert monitor lizard. And another special and rare grassland inhabitant is just a rickety motorbike ride away. It hides deep within the vast landscape and can spot people from nearly a mile away. Thanks to the rangers, the last remaining animals of this critically endangered species have been saved from extinction in the wild. It's an onager, or Persian wild ass. The horses are highly nervous, but waiting patiently pays off in the end. The animals gradually come nearer. The onager is now only found in Iran. These horses were once a favorite quarry of kings and emperors, and their population plummeted to around 100 animals. Thankfully, their numbers are slowly recovering, and today there are an estimated 400. It's a privilege to catch a glimpse of these rare animals. The onager is the fastest horse in the world and can run at 70 kilometers per hour in short bursts. They are hardy creatures and can travel for hours without tiring. The ranger continues with his patrol of the park. Just a dozen men guard the 4,000 square kilometer reserve of Baramgur. They have little equipment or resources, but are passionately committed to protecting their country's wildlife. In the heart of the desert, hidden within an oasis, is another of Iran's natural treasures. The country's oldest tree, a 4,000-year-old cypress. It's over 25 meters high, with a trunk nearly 4 meters in diameter. This tree is so important that it has its own dedicated tree warden, who checks it on a daily basis for signs of damage or disease. Benny lays his hands on what may be the oldest living thing in Asia. This natural monument has witnessed thousands of years of Persian history.
خب آقا این درخت چند سالشه؟ این درخت کوهنسال‌ترین درخت جهان به نام سرو ابرکوه. لونه دارن این تو این بلبل است.
In ancient Persian culture, the cypress is a symbol of honesty and eternal youth, known as the tree of life. And still today, it has an irresistible attraction for both people and wild creatures. A planted hedge protects the roots from being damaged by footsteps. With luck, this living monument could live to provide shelter for another 1,000 years. In contrast, the deserts and arid grasslands appear less welcoming to life. But even here, small communities of people and their animals manage to survive. The Qashqai nomads travel with their herds through the vast steppes. Goats are their most precious possessions. Every evening, all the family members get together to milk the animals. Benny documents this traditional way of life. No one knows how long these ancient customs will be preserved. The Qashqai nomads now only spend the summer months roaming the grasslands. In winter, they prefer the comforts of the city. Their traditional lifestyle is changing, and modern city influences are plain to see. But many things are still done the old-fashioned way. Goat's milk is churned by hand to make yogurt and cheese. Milk is a lifeline, and these people make the most of it. The products made can be stored for months to provide the nomads with valuable food during lean times. Benny is fascinated by these ancient traditions. In Iran, the nomads are still treated as social outcasts. There is little interest in their customs. Back in the tents, the family heads test the quality of the goat's milk. This seems to be a good vintage. They are satisfied. The Qashqai have used this hostile habitat to great effect for generations. The little that grows here is just enough to sustain the livestock, and their nomadic lifestyle prevents the land from being overgrazed. Benny is moving on. He is going to visit Shir Ahmad Wildlife Refuge. Here, there is a perfect observation platform for photography, an abandoned camel caravan stop off the old Silk Route. The lodge is around 200 years old and has been renovated by the wildlife wardens. Elsewhere, many such buildings have been left to crumble, of no use to man, but a small gift to nature. The mud and stone walls offer a shady refuge for birds. For Benny and Hamid, the derelict lodge is the perfect place to pitch their tent. Iran's national parks and wildlife refuges don't yet offer any accommodation for visitors. This is basic, no-frills camping with the most simple of facilities. But the view is worth it, and a small pool right in front of the lodge is likely to attract wildlife. The scenery is spectacular, a photographer's paradise, clear sunsets, and beautiful undisturbed grassland. It might be a cool night as the temperature drops, but it will be peaceful. Early the next morning, Benny gets into position. Within the